Okay, today we are going to make a cream rose and raspberry bridesmaid bouquet. This can also be used for brides. It features this ribbon wrap in a hand-tied design with French knots. There's 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, and they are finished with pearl pins. So, the ingredients that we need to make this bouquet are as follows. We've got 9 cream-colored roses. These are a small rose because the bouquet is overall pretty small, so we want to stick with some small roses, I'm sorry. You can get roses from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann Fabrics, any of those places. Also other craft stores have them. You can also use any other variety of flowers, but I just picked rose for this bouquet. And we've got these red and purple raspberries. I like using different materials in my bouquets. Some unique materials like berries or grasses, anything will really work, or smaller flowers. Some ribbon. This that I've got here is a red sheer variety. Pair of scissors. A pair of really nice clippers or shears. I got these at Lowe's. They're very nice. The better the clippers, the easier it is to do. Fabric glue. I use this as opposed to hot glue when I glue my ribbon because you can't see any glue marks, and I like using this a lot better. Just make sure that it says dries clear. Pearl pins to finish out our bouquet. You can also use this in the process when we glue them down, just to hold your ribbon while the glue is being set. And last but certainly not least, floral tape. You can get this at any craft store. It's very easy to use, but it's absolutely essential to the bouquet. So with that being said, let's get started. First you start by cutting all the leaves off of all of your roses, like this. Save your cuttings always, because you never know when you're going to need them for extra projects. So do that with all 9 of your roses. And last one. Okay, so now we've got all 9 of our roses with no leaves. You hardly ever use leaves on bouquets, and if you do, you just usually put them in afterwards. So we've got our 9 roses. Start by taking 3 of them. It doesn't matter really which ones. And you put them together. Just like that. Pretty easy to do. And you hold your stems tight. Take your tape. And you start by just putting the tape about right there, not quite in the middle, up a little bit higher than that. And you take one or two wraps around the stems. And the secret to using floral tape is keeping it very tight. Obviously, if it's too tight, it'll rip off. But you definitely want to keep it tight, otherwise your bouquet will fall apart. So take a couple wraps around, and then you want to hold the tape with one hand, the bouquet in the other, and you just want to do wraps all the way up for a couple of inches, and again, pulling it tight the whole time so that you have a nice tight taped bouquet. So just about right there, not quite all the way up. We don't want to go too far, because then if we have to move our flowers around, we won't be able to. So leave your tape on. You might want to bend these out just a little bit. We're going to put space in it later, but not quite yet. So then we take another flower, and we're going to just put it, kind of fill this, fill the spots. So there's a little spot right here. There's going to be a spot here, and there's going to be a spot here. So you're just going to fill those spots with flowers. So the same thing, hold it tight, take your tape, and then twirl it around. You don't have to wrap it a whole lot between flowers because you will be wrapping multiple flowers. So just a couple wraps for each one. So then we've got to fill this slot right here. Maybe put a flower here. So we just keep doing that. It doesn't have to be even right now. You will even it up. And so we won't worry about that just yet. Couple wraps. Okay, now it looks like we've got some spots right here. You can also do more than one flower at a time. You don't have to just wrap one at a time. So now we've got a pretty even bouquet so far, but we do have 2 more flowers to use for this particular one. You can just kind of move them around to kind of create a spot. So like right there, we've created a spot for it. And right now it's pretty tight. We're going to space it out so that we have room for our raspberries, but for now it's going to be pretty tight. And I actually usually keep my tape on the floor. For some reason it doesn't get twisted up quite as bad when it's on the floor, but whatever you want to do. Okay, so now it's a little uneven. We can kind of put another one right here so that we just don't have one in the middle. We've got them all over, so you can just kind of slide that through like this. Wedge it down in there. And again, it doesn't have to be even right now. We're going to even it all out. So with that last one that we just put in, we're just going to tape around it. Okay, so what we've got right now is just a simple bouquet with roses. You can leave it like this. We could finish off the stems. Take this little piece off right here. But for this particular bouquet, we're going to add some raspberries. They look like this. I've actually had to tape them onto stems just like the roses so that when we put them in, they'll match. And I can kind of give my holder and my stems a little bit more volume. So we're going to start putting in these raspberries. You typically work with odd numbers. So like with these roses, I've got 9 roses here. And of course I said that, and I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 raspberries. So it's not necessarily always odd numbers. You can, use odds, evens, but typically odd numbers are more visually appealing. I don't know why this is. It just is. So we'll start with a raspberry clump. Some of these have 4 raspberries on it like this. Some of them have 3, so it kind of varies up a little bit.